What is up, everybody? I am Ant, and I'm joined by my good friend and co-host. Introduce yourself, my friend.
This is Tyler Peters from the South, and I'm just so happy to be discussing wrestling with my good friend and host of the program, Ant. And let's do this. We've got a lot to talk about. I'll let you introduce that concept, but I am just so happy and thrilled to be here, my friend. I think we're making a good tag team. How's my grade so far?
Dude, let me just tell you something. We are going to become the WWE Attitude Era Tag Team Champions because no one can do it like we do it. So,
They can't touch us. I mean, we don't need MC Hammer to tell us that.
yeah,
They're not going to be able to come close to the real tag team champions of the Attitude Era, and that is Ant and Tyler. You said it, you spoke it into existence, and you better believe it's true.
forget the New Age Outlaws. Um, So, yes, we are the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast, and you are checking out our Attitude Years series recaps where we cover everything from the Attitude Era, watching from December 1997 all the way to what I consider the end of it, December 2001. I do want to give you guys a couple of notes. I messed up with the episodes, so we are actually last week we were supposed to be, let me make sure that I have it's all correct. I think we're on like episode 23. All right. If not, I'll have it fixed next week, but that doesn't really matter. All the episodes are in chronological order on YouTube and in our archives on Spotify or wherever
I
you get.
wasn't paying attention, anyways.
Yeah, I don't even know. I'm just assuming. But yes, so we are finally at our pay-per-view of April, Unforgiven in your house. Someone's gonna be set on fire, someone's gonna be stripped. We're gonna have fucking people from the 60s, someone getting hit with a chair. A lot is gonna happen tonight.
A lot of variety.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And before we talk about Unforgiven in your house, I want to take a little trip back to April 1998, and I'm going to give you our top 10 songs and the top 10 movies at the box office for the month of April 1998. And we got this information from Billboard Hot 100 for the week of April 26, 1998. The number 10 song is Sex and Candy by Marcy Playground.
I
Hanging
remember.
out downtown by myself.
Yeah, that
Um,
was a classic. We grew up on that, or at least I know I did.
yes. I smell sex and candy. Number 9, Romeo and Juliet by Silky Pine. Silky Fine. I don't know that one, but
I probably know it if I heard it, but yeah, I'm
I
not
kind of
not
want to
big.
see what it is. Okay, I'm gonna check it out now and look to see the song Romeo and Juliet. I don't
Please do. I can't wait to hear this. This will jog our memories, I bet.
I don't think I've ever
I was
heard
trying to remember. Yeah,
this is by who is this again? This is by Silk.
I
Okay,
believe that's
Silky
what you
Fine.
were telling us and telling me too.
Since the first time I saw you, I knew I was attracted, reacted to the fact on how you make me act.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
It's very catchy, and obviously they're attracted to somebody. I mean, Romeo and Juliet. This is very revolutionary. I love the idea, the concept. You're going to get a little bit of old school music. At least it's classic to us. It's
And
nostalgic.
yeah,
I'm getting excited. I mean, not only are we talking Attitude Era, we've got it with music.
and then yeah, I guess the Silky Fine does too. All right, number
I
8.
reckon.
This one I think everybody knows. Everybody Backstreet's Back by the Backstreet Boys.
I
Everybody.
admit it. Okay, I do know that song. I was a closet Backstreet Boys fan. There you go. I was trying to hide it with Metallica CDs. I've got a confession. I can't help it.
My good
Somebody
friend
stop
went
me.
to see them actually a couple weeks ago. They were in Connecticut and they were super excited to see them perform and killing it. And they did sing that song.
Well, why
Yeah.
not? Yeah. I mean, can you do you know some of the lyrics? Because I'm not going to try to remember them, but can you recall?
So I know it goes like, everybody, yeah.
Yeah. Is it
Yeah.
Rock Your Body? Yeah.
Yes. Tyler, I wasn't expecting that from you, my friend. That was
I can
really
actually sing a little bit. I just try to sing solo. You can't hear me, the real solo. And but that it kind of came out. I got to admit, I was a fanatic for the
Nick
X-Pac
Carter
boys.
just totally just took over your body for a minute. Um, next,
That was a little scary, but it was
yeah,
appropriate.
that was intense. Number 7 is Truly Madly Deeply by Savage Garden, which we all know. That
What a classic! I
I
love
wanna
that song.
lay like this. Mm-mm-hmm.
Sing it. Come on, let's rock it out.
What is it?
We're going
Star
back, folks.
down on me. Yeah. All right. Number 6. I better stop before these people turn it off. Uh,
No,
body.
keep on going. Who
Number
cares?
6 is Body Bumpin' Yippee-I-Yo by Public Announcement. I know
Uh,
that one.
Got to be honest. I don't remember them
We're
all.
obviously white people here because
Yeah, you can tell we're not hip to what was happening, as the cool kids would say. Yeah. Do you have a sample of that? I believe
Yippee-I-Yo, yippee-I-Ki-Yay, I want to hump your body.
I
Yes. All
think
right.
maybe they got the Die Hard analogy, the Bruce Willis character. Now it's coming back. No, that's not the same, folks. But I was trying to be a little comedic, but still don't recall it. But I think it's a very catchy tune.
Number 5 is Frozen by Madonna. That's another one I'm not familiar with.
I'm
Uh,
not sure if I've heard Frozen. Now I've definitely listened to a lot of Madonna songs, but
I'm
I
gonna.
don't know if you want to do all the clips. But go ahead.
Yeah, I don't. That's very
Yeah, it's not ringing a bell. Speaking of wrestling,
ringing a bell.
uh,
Number 4. How about this one? All My Life by KCI and JoJo. That's one that
now that's an anthem. That was one all the kids were singing.
This
We
one
wish we were the vocalists they were.
I thank God.
Yeah, there you go.
Now.
Future American Idol winner, folks. Everybody, give it up for Ant.
You're like Eric the Midget. Are you a fan of American Idol?
A little bit.
Do
No, I mean, it's like
you
saying,
know
are
who
you a
Eric
fan
the
of The
Midget
Voice
is,
or
Tyler?
what?
You know who Eric the Midget is?
No, that's what caught me off guard. That's what makes this show so funny. I
He's a
don't.
guy from Howard Stern who's a midget who calls in, and it's actually Tyler. This doesn't have to do with 1998, but I'm going to say this. He's a short person who doesn't realize that he's getting picked on by Howard Stern, and so he calls in all the time. And there's one time where Howard actually has Stephanie McMahon like with him, and he asks
Okay.
Eric the Midget loves American Idol. Like he's obsessed with American Idol. But he starts talking to Stephanie, and he's like, this is at the time when she was the GM of SmackDown. So he's like, oh, I really like SmackDown better than Raw. And then Howard Stern goes, Eric, have you ever masturbated to Stephanie McMahon? And Eric goes, no. And Stephanie goes, wow, I'm offended by that. And he goes, well, I'm not going to say it in front of her. So it was, I don't know why, Tyler, but just when you brought up American Idol, it just brought me to Eric the Midget. But if you do want
Wow, and I didn't think that was going to segue to such a provocative segment, but this guy, I'll have to look him up. Folks, he's not going to be morally obligated, but Howard Stern, what do you expect, though? That's most of Stern's, catch there.
learn a lot about Stephanie McMahon in that interview.
Yeah, we did.
Very, very much so. Number 3, we have Let's Ride by Montel Jordan, which I'm assuming is not a horse.
I don't believe so, unless he was thinking of a Western, but I think it's got to do with, well, you want to tell him?
Let's ride it. Let's do it.
I was still stuck on Casey and JoJo all my life.
All my life. Okay, number
That's
2.
the only words I could remember, so I didn't want to sing it too much.
Someone like you. And
There you go. See,
number 2.
You've got the memory.
I got you. You're Still the One by Shania Twain, which to me is one of my favorite songs.
Oh, and she is still so beautiful.
Oh,
my
and
God. She was a crush. I wanted the album just so I got the picture of her, but very
Still the
talented,
one
could sing. Yeah.
The one that I be. My coworker, shout out to her. This was her. I don't know if it was her wedding song, but she said that was her song with her husband. So shout out to you, Kathy. You're still the
Yeah,
one.
shout out, Kathy. I don't know you. I know Aunt does, but hey, I feel like I do. So,
That's right. Rock it out to you're still the one. And then number one, coming in too close by next. Baby, when we're
oh yeah,
down,
this was the club
it's
theme,
so
was it not? Not
exciting.
that I ever, vacated a
Yeah, you're
club
like what, 11? The
or yeah,
club.
I probably vacate wasn't even the right term, but go ahead and play it. Yeah.
Yes. Little Tyler getting down to too close. Okay, but that is it for our top 10 songs of the month. Too
Oh, I'm
close.
so disappointed.
I know. We'll have to do, maybe we'll do a at the end of the year, we'll do a special 1998 year in review. Let's
Sounds
talk
great.
about our top 10 movies at the box office. So these are movies that everybody was going to see. Number 10 was Scream 2, which I'm
Ooh.
surprised that that came out in April or March, April, whenever it was that it came out. That it was still playing in April when it's normally a Halloween movie. So I was interested in that. Number 9 is The Players Club. Never saw that.
The title is familiar. Scream 2, I was a big fan of the original, the first one, but Scream 2 was pretty good too. I'm a horror movie guy, so that's
Ooh,
something you probably a lot of listeners don't realize about your co-hosts. I don't know about you, but I tend to like them if they're done correctly.
I like horror movies, but I'm a big pussy. So when I watch them, I have to put my fingers in front of my face, but I kind of like blinders. I can kind of like move my hands and see. Yeah, no, I'm a big like I'm into like I get afraid of everything. It's like The Exorcist, Insidious, all of
Oh, I'm
those.
not touching that kind of stuff. Scream's scary enough. I mean, very
Oh, you're not.
suspenseful.
Wow, so you're a different type of scary person. I thought you were into like the deeper. The
No, I'm more into the Halloweens and the
you're
scares.
like stay away.
Yeah, I'm a very fragile person when it comes to horror movies. People are going to be disappointed. They will. I mean, that's another confession. I'm not really big into The Exorcist. I'm more into the John Carpenter, Stephen King sort of films. I'm more kind of nostalgic, like we're discussing with wrestling, with regards to those type of movies.
I feel you. I feel you. I hear you. I'm like that too. If I didn't have Dory, I probably wouldn't watch those movies anyways. Number 8, we have Mercury Rising.
I've heard of that. I don't know that
Num
I've even seen it though. But who's in that? Do you know?
I'll look that up on IMDb. Can you
Thank you.
believe if this was 1998, I would not be able to do any of this. So Mercury Rising, hang on, Mercury Rising, had Bruce Willis and Miko Hughes, Alec Baldwin. It says the description: shadowy elements in the NSA target a 9-year-old autistic savant for death when he is able to decipher a top secret code.
I'm gonna have to watch that. The storyline that you pointed out there makes you want to view the movie because I'm like Bruce Willis. Anyways, it's sad he's not acting currently, but what a legend! I'm a
It's
big fan of
reminding me a
Bruce
little bit
Willis.
of like a Sixth Sense kind of because there's a little boy in it.
Yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, we were at Mercury Rising. That was a good one. I haven't seen
it
it, but it does
was.
sound interesting. Number 7, The Odd Couple Part 2. It
Is
was
that based off the show?
yeah, it had both of the original characters in it.
All
Uh,
right, makes
but yeah,
sense.
yeah, so interesting.
Haven't seen that one either.
Me neither. Number 6 was Lost in Space, which is based off of the TV series from the 60s.
I want to
Didn't see
say I
that.
may have seen a little bit of that, but I can't recall
Yeah.
entirely. So I'm gonna say that's still 50-50.
Number 5 is Paulie with the bird. Remember that?
Yeah, I
Didn't see
definitely
it, but I
remember
know.
Paulie. I
I'm
don't know that
surprised
I
with
actually
this.
watched it.
This one was number 1 last month. It's now at number 4, Titanic. I'm surprised
Oh,
it
I
dropped.
definitely have seen that. That was a big box office hit and
Yes, sir.
very sad, but it was a true story and based in reality. And Leonardo DiCaprio, Kate Winslet, just a awesome movie.
Yep. Number 3, The Object of My Affection, which
Was this George Clooney, Michelle Pfeiffer?
No, this is Jennifer Aniston. I think it's about this. The storyline is the girl falls in love with her like gay best friend. I think. I don't know.
I was way off base.
Yeah, yeah.
My
Number
bad.
two is City of Angels.
I've heard of it. I don't know that I've seen all of it. I may have seen bits and pieces. I think I've saw this film because it was. I think the Goo Goo Dolls had that big hit song, and I think it was based off this film. If I'm, getting that right in together.
Probably this. It came out. This one was with Nicolas Cage and Meg Ryan.
Yes, but like I stated before, I'm not sure that I actually watch it. There's a lot of good movies I need to go back and watch now that we're discussing this. I'm just that song. It's as much the soundtracks
Yeah, you're
that
right. It
are.
is. You're correct. It's Iris. It's in there.
Yes, Iris. Thank you so much for that.
Mhm.
What a great song. Now I'm going to have to go back and listen to these tracks as well.
And then number one, um, is something that I haven't heard of. It's called The Big Hit, and it
Hmm.
had Mark Wahlberg, Lou Diamond Phillips, Christina Applegate, Avery Brooks, star-studded cast. It says it's a socially anxious hitman, Malvin Smiley, an expert in his lucrative field, goes on a job and falls in love with his kidnapping victim, turning his world upside down. So he basically falls in love with the lady he's supposed to be kidnapping.
Yeah, I need to go back and review that one. But anything like Mark Wahlberg and all the actors you mentioned, it definitely star-studded. I would concur. Definitely want to go out of my way to check that one out. Just the whole story that you laid out there in the info was intriguing.
Yes. All right. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I'm going to be giving you
Sure.
the facts from April of 1998. So, important events that took place during the month. We're going to give Tyler a 1998 beginning half of the
I'm
year.
in the hot seat.
You're in the hot seat. You're going to get a trivia thrown at you. And then what you all came for, the Unforgiven in your house
The
official
main
recap,
event.
the main event. Yes. So we will be right back. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back. Now, we just went over the top 10 songs of
We
April
did.
698. We went over the top 10 movies of April 1998.
It
And
was totally
now,
awesome.
I
Wrong
know
era.
a lot of good stuff coming out from this year. Here are some fun sort of pop culture facts that took place in the month of April 1998, and I'm going to do it in chronological order. So
Let's
on
hear them.
April 3rd of 98, Dave Navarro left the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I don't know if he returns to the band. I think he does because I think he does do.
I'm not sure either, but I
I don't
do
know.
remember him leaving, though. That was a great band, the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yes, sir.
I mean, a lot.
Californication.
Yes. Wow. Two great minds think alike. That's the song I was thinking about.
There you go.
Californication. Oh, that's such a all-time great.
Yep. April 4th, 1998, the TV show Cat Dog premieres on Nickelodeon for any 90s kids out there. Cat Dog was a
I don't
popular
think I
show.
was a fan, and it's not Cat Dog's fault. I just that's missing the radar for me.
It was it was like a show where it was a cat and a dog that were combined. And so like one side was a cat and one side was a dog and alone in the world, a little cat dog. Okay. Uh
No, no. I mean, I was pausing to listen out of respect, but yeah, still nothing.
it's all right. It's all right. I'll
It's
have
gonna
to.
happen. I mean, hey, listen, you remembered it, and that was great. I mean, you do great impersonations. I mean, very fitting.
I will have to send you after we record the
Please enlighten me, sir.
yes. On April 6th, Tammy Wynette passed away at the age of 55.
Now that's very sad because I live near Nashville and I'm from the state of Tennessee. So regardless, that was just a tragic loss. Uh, Tammy Wynette is a legend in not just country music, but I would say music overall.
Yeah. She I said she stands by her man.
Yeah, big song.
On April 7th, this is a huge sort of big scandal that took place in the year of 98. George Michael gets arrested in a Beverly Hills restroom for a lewd act, which is, sort of like a sexual term.
Mm-hmm.
I think he might have exposed himself. He did something that was
I think,
inappropriate.
yeah, it was very inappropriate, and I'm a big fan of George Michael, and I'm not going to judge the man. I don't know what came over him. Of course, we lost him back in 2016. I
Yeah.
believe another, tragedy. Not to depress anybody, it's just unfortunate part of life. But I do remember that being in the headlines because he was such a big star in music, and just that. Uh, I mean, that
He wanted to be
headline.
someone's father's figure, man. I mean,
Yeah, I was trying to think of the words that,
I
forgive me for that part of me, but I was trying to think of
the
what would
preacher.
be the right term to
Till
describe that
the
incident.
end of time. He had a careless whisper too.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Yeah. Speaking of, if we could go back to 80s, if we were doing an 80s show, we could do Careless Whisper. Father Figure may have been in the 90s. Faith was, I think, in the 90s, so that could have worked.
yes.
Yeah,
Well, I
that
don't
would.
think anyone had any faith in him after that.
I still had faith in him. I don't know about you, but I'm gonna refrain from or refrain would be the proper term from any judgment on Mr. Michael. I'll just leave it at that.
Mr. Michael. All right, April 8th, Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee is sentenced to 6 months in prison for spousal abuse and battery charges that were accused against him by Pamela.
Not a good look for Tommy Lee. Definitely am a big Motley Crue fan.
Yeah.
My hair's really long. I wear the earrings. Not really, but I'm a huge mark for 80s rock. So
What's
girls,
funny?
girls, girls, home sweet home.
Yep.
Is-
Yep. What's funny though is we will see Motley Crue show up in, I think, early November 1998, and you do see Tommy Lee. So it's funny that he, goes to jail for a bit, gets out, and goes to WWE. But yeah, I mean, this was a big time because this is when the sex tape of Tommy
Yeah,
Lee.
Pamela Anderson. Now it's a
Yep.
Hulu or Netflix series.
Yep. Yep. But this is when it all came out. So huge, huge time.
Yeah, it was big
On
news.
April 14th, the VH1 network put on a show called Divas Live, and they had many different female singers that are considered divas come on, including Aretha Franklin, Gloria Estefan, Celine Dion, Shania Twain, and Mariah Carey.
Can we just say that that's like a if you had a
Who's
four
who?
horsemen or a just a Hall of Fame worthy list there.
Yeah.
I don't know if four horsemen would have correlated, but I was thinking of legendary factions. If they had a faction like in wrestling, that would be similar to all the names you listed: Mariah Carey, Aretha Franklin, Gloria Estefan, and Shania Twain, who we just mentioned because she had that song "You're Still the One." So everything is segueing nicely.
Keeping you forever and for always. Sorry.
We got karaoke. We'll sing to you. I mean, we are desperate. No, actually, we have some talent. Just give us a moment. I
Um,
don't want any negative comments. Please shower us with them. That's
I
what
think
makes
we're
us
gonna get
better.
great comments. We're great.
I think we're going to get very positive, encouraging words from a lot of fans, even a lot of weird ones that are saying, yeah, you're still the one to me, and I'll have to block them, but thank you anyways. There you go.
Yeah, man. Everyone's still the one. Okay, so
Still the one. Oh, excuse me. Where were we?
um where was I? Yes. Okay, so um we have our last fact, which actually goes to the same date of
Cool.
Unforgiven in Your House, April 26th. You two actually made a cameo on the Simpsons episode called Trash of the Titans, and it came on the same night as the Unforgiven in Your House pay-per-view. So yeah,
They were competition. You two and the Simpsons for the WWF at the time, WWE currently. Uh, in the name of love, or in the name of Titans, who knows? That's me. That's my poor.
that's all you, sir.
Yeah, that's my poor attempt at Bono. Or Bono. Boy, that sounded bad. Bono. Oh gosh,
Bono,
yeah, Bono.
Faarooq.
I'm glad you correct me because boy, that came out wrong. But that's the beauty of this show. With all due respect to him, I'm a big U2 fan. You would think I would get the pronunciation correct. You'll have a lot of bloopers and comedy elements, though.
Yes, sir, of course. So now is a time where you're gonna be put in the hot seat. I have 4 questions for
Please
you.
take it easy on me.
These are going to be questions that have to do with the first half of 98. Some questions are about wrestlers, some questions are about events. So are you ready to test?
I'm ready. I like how you're mixing it up too. This will be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So here's your first question. All right. The first question, question number one. Who won the 1998 Royal Rumble match? And here are your choices. You have A, The Game Triple H, B, The Rock, or C, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Who won the 1998 Royal Rumble match?
I'm going to let everybody down. Was it The Rock?
Is that your final answer?
Yes, sir.
You guess so that's your answer? Be The Rock?
Mm-hmm.
Tyler, shame. Stone Cold Steve Austin won the 1998 Royal Rumble match.
I let everybody down. I knew it.
Oh my goodness, he went on to fight at WrestleMania 14. How do you think he got there? Especially with Vince McMahon in his way, he wouldn't have gotten there without that.
I know. Right. We're just talking about this, and how bad of a fail was that?
Yeah, man. Listen, it's all right. Well, you got a chance to redeem yourself.
It's trivia for a reason. Yeah.
You got two more questions. Oh, actually,
I can redeem myself.
You have three. Yep. All right. Question two. Where was WrestleMania 14 held? Was it in A, Boston, Massachusetts, B, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, or C, Houston, Texas? Where was WrestleMania 14 held?
Give me those choices again.
A, Boston, B, Philadelphia, or C, Houston?
I'm going to go with Boston.
You are correct, sir.
Oh, thank God. That was a fortunate guess, I'll tell you.
Boston, Massachusetts, the Fleet Center.
I may be a wrestling fan, but I wouldn't call myself a historian.
So this question doesn't particularly have to do with 1998, but it does have to do with a certain female from 98. Which female was the most downloaded on AOL? A, Sable, B, Luna, or C, Sunny? Which female was the most downloaded on AOL?
With all due respect, all three of them, was it Sable?
Is that your final answer, my friend?
Yes, I'm afraid so.
It was Sunny, sir. Sunny was the most downloaded woman on AOL.
Well, props to her. Doesn't surprise me. I was just, if you put Sable in there, no offense, both of them were hot. I just didn't know, and I've got a lot of respect for Luna too. I was thinking, who should I go with? It's just all a guess and what if. I mean, it's just plain and
you probably would have been. You probably would have been on the floor if it was Luna that won. No offense to her, but I mean, number 4.
No, I would have been fine with it. Because, I wouldn't want her beat me up. That's how much respect for the Vajan family.
And she's very attractive, too.
Luna is a very pretty lady. A lot of people,
pretty
don't realize. I mean, no, you've seen her at the younger year. I mean, she was, that's respect. That's not even been weird.
Number 4. Moving on before Tyler tells us his love for Luna. What did the Undertaker's parents do for a living? What was their job? Was it were they doctors? Oh, no, you're fine. A, doctors, B, funeral directors, or C, deli workers?
Funeral directors, right?
Is that your final answer?
It's got to be. Come on. I've got to get another one at least, right? I'm 2 for 2.
In June 1997, Paul Bearer tells a story about how the Undertaker's family lived in a beautiful wooded area with tremendous oak trees by the house. They owned a funeral parlor. So yes, you are correct. They are funeral directors.
I knew Paul Bearer wouldn't let me down.
And and that's the story. The Sonny burnt down the home. So you did pretty good. You only got 2 questions wrong, 2 questions right. Maybe we'll
even them out.
Monthly thing. So we'll see how you do next month with our May 1998 WWE trivia questions for you. So you did pretty good. You didn't do too bad.
I tried. Yeah, I mean, there's room for improvement, but I'll take 2 for 2.
I'm surprised with the Royal Rumble one. I'm not gonna lie, but
that was bad. I gotta admit, I don't know why I didn't pick Stone Cold out. 1998 wasn't even registering or even resonating, as I butchered that word. But yeah, I would have thought Stone Cold or something. But I went with The Rock.
Well, there you have it. Those are our trivia questions from April 1998. Now let's get into the nitty gritty. We are covering WWF Unforgiven in your house. They were live in Greensboro, North Carolina, April 26, 1998. Excited, a lot of stuff happening on this card. Let's dive right into it. We have the Nation of Domination, the Intercontinental Champion, The Rock, D'Lo Brown, and Mark Henry with taking on the team of Ken Shamrock, Faarooq, and Steve Blackman. Here are some quick notes here. Henry nails a backbreaker to Steve Blackman and an elbow drop. D'Lo nails a sit-out powerbomb to Blackman and gets a 2. The Rock clotheslines Steve Blackman and then nails a people's elbow. And then D'Lo misses a moonsault and Faarooq attacks The Rock. Rock hits a DDT to Faarooq. And then Faarooq hits a Dominator on The Rock, getting a 3 count for their team. Faarooq, Shamrock, and Steve Blackman getting the win. This is a good opener, a good 6-man tag. Nation of Domination is not doing so well. What did you think of the match?
I thought it was a very solid contest. I love how we saw a younger Mark Henry just showing that strength as the world's strongest man, out-muscling, overpowering everybody. I thought Faarooq whipping D'Lo was a painful visual. I love Ken Shamrock's MMA submission-style offense. I thought it was superb. The Rock started coming into his own, getting elevated, establishing himself, having that Intercontinental title. So I thought for what they were trying to accomplish here from a storyline basis went over very well.
Yeah, I thought it was a good sort of turning point for The Rock. We're going to see more and more of him sort of becoming more independent.
Certainly.
But right now, he's definitely using the Nation to his advantage. But Faarooq, Shamrock, and Blackman came to play, and they weren't playing.
Yeah, Blackman, don't forget about Steve Blackman, the Lethal Weapon,
yeah.
Like Shamrock with the martial arts. I love how these styles... and I talked about it in the previous episodes. I just can't get over how much I enjoy this unique aspect of professional wrestling, having a lot of, whether it was amateur wrestlers with the MMA, UFC personnel like Shamrock or Dan the Beast Severn, or a martial artist like the Lethal Weapon, Steve Blackman.
Yeah. No, for real. There's a lot... There's a lot, dude. There's a lot of different dynamics, different wrestlers being added to different scenarios. So, yeah, there's a lot happening here, but it's all good. I'm excited. There's a lot more to come.
It gave us a lot of thrilling details concerning what kind of matches we could have on pay-per-views and the shows like a Raw.
Yeah, and this isn't the last of The Rock and Faarooq, so definitely stay on.
No, it's going to continue. Don't worry. It's not the last of anything. Just because we saw an ending result, a lot of times that builds us to more matches and more of the feud.
Yes, sir. You are correct, dude. All right, we come back and WWF champion Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out, and Stone Cold says, last week Vince McMahon he's talking to the timekeeper, told you to ring the bell, didn't he? If Vince McMahon screws me out of the title tonight after I beat his ass up and down every aisle, I'll do the same to you. If you screw Stone Cold Steve Austin, I'll beat your ass so bad you'll never work for WWF again. If you screw with me, you'll both get your asses whooped. So Stone Cold, is aware of... Yeah, and he knows that Vince McMahon is known to screw over people. He screwed over Steve Blackman this past week on Raw when Love applied the abdominal stretch. So Austin does not want to get screwed out of his title. He's not playing. He's letting everybody know, and that's just Stone Cold. He's willing to...
That's the Texas Rattlesnake, yeah, informing us all, to your point. He doesn't want this conspiracy between whether it's he, Dude Love, or Mr. McMahon to continue. He wants to hold on to his WWF championship. And he has every right to not trust the corporation. That's McMahon, Slaughter, Briscoe, or Patterson, or the timekeeper. And like you were stating, he threatens him. He's like, I'm going to stun you and then whip your tail all over the building if you don't do your job correctly.
Yeah, it's great seeing just Stone Cold, and the fans love seeing him. I've noticed that in these early pay-per-views, there's a lot of breaks in between the matches, so it's good to see Austin come out, though.
Yeah, I think you've got to have – it's one of your better storylines, so you got to not open the show with it necessarily like you do your TV, but have him come out because this is ongoing, and you're going to see something later on that will relate to it, and I'll let you explain that. But for the listeners, but I loved and enjoyed thoroughly having Stone Cold come out with the issues here. It adds and lends to the credibility, the reality of the situation. And with the timekeeper, I like the little nuances, so to speak, having the timekeeper, and they're very important ones at that.
Yeah.
So this was a nice touch.
Yes, sir. Well, speaking of a nice touch, the European Championship is on the line, and Chyna comes down with the champion Triple H. It's going to be the fatal title against Owen Hart. And Chyna is supposed to be suspended above the ring in a shark cage. But before that can happen, Owen attacks Triple H as Chyna is lifted up. Owen headbutts Triple H on the ramp. He being Owen Hart, sends Triple H into the cage and then suplexes Triple H on the floor. Owen drops Triple H across the railing and sends him into the announce table. Owen's not playing with Triple H tonight. Triple H nails a knee lift and then a suplex and a knee drop to Owen's head and gets a 2 count. We see Chyna on inside the cage trying to bend the steel bars. Triple H chokes Owen Hart, and then Triple H nails a swinging neck breaker. Owen accidentally runs shoulder first into the ring post. Chyna actually is able to bend the steel bar, and while this is going on, Owen nails a belly to belly. He being Owen and Enziguri, gets a 2 count. And then Owen with a pile driver and spinning heel kick, still nothing. We see Chyna starting to climb out of the cage, and Owen nails a DDT and applies a sharpshooter. However, we see Road Dogg lowering the cage as Chyna is hanging from it. Owen then catapults Triple H into the ring post. He nails a pedigree, but X-PAC runs in and nails Owen Hart from behind with a fire extinguisher, and Triple H gets the pin, and he retains the title. After the match, and we'll talk about this in a minute, Michael Cole interviews Owen Hart really quick, and Owen Hart says, "This is bullshit. Enough is enough. It's time for a change." So even with Chyna suspended above a shark cage, Triple H is still able to outsmart Owen Hart and retain the title. What did you think of the match? And then what did you think of Owen Hart's comments after about enough is enough?
I think anytime you can pair Triple H and Owen Hart together, you're going to create some wrestling magic, because both these guys know how to tell the story in ring and outside the ring, as we saw. And the European Championship was always another interesting component to a lot of the titles back then. I often had forgotten about it till going back reviewing these type of shows or pay-per-views per se. But I thought adding Chyna was very cool. I mean, I liked how they told the backstory with Slaughter and Chyna. Got powdered, I think Slaughter got powdered in his eyes going back to WrestleMania. There was a lot to recap. I love how WWF or WWE now relayed those stories, however. And I just thought her bending the bar, as you said it, was very impressive to witness. It shows you her actual strength and the way that DX, their antics, once again, they come out on top. It was just a very entertaining, but yet it was a match you could take very seriously in the same vein as far as with Owen Hart and Triple H. And Owen Hart, it was showing his attitude and the famous phrase, "enough is enough." And I think, to say even that word, JR apologized to viewers, but it was a telling sign of, hey, we're still pushing the envelope. We're not finished yet. It's just going to keep continuing. It's a progress, or a process,
Yeah, Owen, we're going to see a lot of stuff with Owen throughout the remainder of the year, but this is the first time where you start to see Owen sort of crack a little bit. He's tired of getting, dealing with all the bullshit. And
DX is getting under his skin.
Yes. We hear that there's an attendance record for the Greensboro Arena or Coliseum. It's 21,427 people. We then get Mr. NWA Jim Cornette. He walks down to the ring.
Oh, I love Jim Cornette.
He says, "There are people who still think the Rock and Roll Express are great, but we will end that thought. We are every mother's nightmare and every schoolgirl's dream." And he
was correct. He was speaking the truth. He was preaching the gospel. James E. Cornette. I mean,
there was.
Yeah, you think about the history and with the NWA and back when wrestling had its territories in Greensboro. Jim Ross would state this fact over and over again, but it was important to the story of the NWA angle. Now, it may have been misplaced. I know we talked about that in the previous episode, but having Cornette come out to Greensboro and make fun of the fans there, this match was going to get over because you had the Rock and Roll Express. Now, you didn't have the actual Midnight Express like they, were accustomed to, but you did have this new Midnight Express with Bob Holly and Bart Gunn taking on Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson. But what I found interesting is that the Rock and Roll Express came out to the Rockers music. That was Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels. So that, to me, was very fascinating in itself. But, the longevity, I have to credit another podcast because we had just talked about the longevity of wrestlers. And definitely, how can we forget that the Rock and Roll Express, they're still going today. At least Ricky Morton is and his son Kerry. So there's a lot of dynamics here, even watching Unforgiven in your house, or however you would phrase it. I thought that this match delivered. It was a very, very good tag team match.
Yeah, I do think that it's telling for them to use the Rockers music to kind of show what WWE thought of NWA. I don't think they really took them as seriously. But this was an added match. It was the NWA Tag Champions, the new Midnight Express, Jim Cornette, taking on, as you said, the Rock and Roll Express. Just some quick notes. Midnight Express with an abdominal stretch using the ropes for leverage, of course, using chain tactics. Bart nails a power slam to Ricky Morton and gets a 2. Rock and Roll nail punches in the corner and a double drop kick to Bart Gunn. And then Jim Cornette accidentally elbows Bob Holly, but Bob is able. Yep, Bob is able to bulldog Gibson to get the win and retain the title. So you already touched upon the match. It was a decent match, bonus match.
It was. It was a bonus match. What about the spot with referee Tim White and Cornette wanting to fight him? That's classic manager spots if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, I think Tim White would have taken Jim Cornette. I don't know. We'll have to see.
I'm not so sure. Now, if the Racket's involved, that's an equalizer.
Yeah.
I like Tim White, and with respect to the late, great Tim White, who we just lost, major respect to his family and condolences still. But that was the memorable, even with referees, that was so great. You saw with the Hebners and so many of them, would shove wrestlers back. It was always awesome to see.
Yes. Well, we're going to talk about respect when Doc Hendricks interviews Luna and Goldust backstage. And Luna says, I am here to strip every piece of clothing from Sable's grotesque body. You will be left in the ring like a newborn baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
Some bold words from Luna Vachon with the artist formerly known as Goldust. I just wrote down Goldust to simplify it.
Mm-hmm.
This is, I'm going to be very transparent here. This was my favorite match.
Wow. Okay, Tyler. All right. Well, it's an evening gown match. Luna Vachon with the artist formerly known as Goldust taking on Sable. Here are my notes. Both women rip at each other's sleeves and they rip off the sleeves off of one another. Luna ends up choking Sable in the corner and she pulls off Sable's skirt. And then Sable punches and kicks Luna in the corner until Marvelous Mark Merrill runs down, which distracts Sable. Luna pulls off Sable's gown, and Sable is left wearing some beautiful blue and purple bra panties.
Very lovely, by the way.
Very nice. And then after the match, Sable gets revenge. She Sable bombs Luna and then strips her of her clothes. Luna runs under the ring, and Sable follows her. And then Sable comes out of the ring with Luna's bra and panties. And then Goldust carries Luna backstage, covering her up with his robe. So this is your favorite match. I get to speak on it a little bit.
Yeah, I would give the star rating about 100 on this match just for Sable's involvement alone. Mero, I get why he had to be out there. They had their problems, and he distracted. How dare he? I thought he loved Sable, but he actually, it was a blessing in disguise. Like JR said, I'm not mad at this, or Jerry the King Lawler, and none of us.
Yeah, I think Jim Ross is saying he was a married man at this point.
He was. Now, he had to be careful. He was a married man. Luna, of course, dominated. She's got more of the wrestling experience. I'll try to be serious and then add some comedy to it. But when the bottom came off, I was like the king. I was jumping up and down like a dog. Yeah. It was great. That's showing you my humility here, is it not? But Sable fought back, and, Sable got that power bomb. She called the Sable bomb, and that's, you mentioned it. Luna's clothes got stripped off, and Luna had to get under the ring or she was going to, have her birthday suit on, but luckily she had Goldust there. But I thought it was a technical masterpiece. No, I digress. No, it's not. It was a very visually pleasurable experience if we're talking Sable. And, boy, I'm saying too much. We better move on.
I think
I'll tell you, it's a great match. As I'm stuttering out of embarrassment, my cheeks are red. I've already went lengthy, but I think this deserves respect. I don't know that you could call it a match per se, but it
was entertainment.
And it was exciting. Okay, let's move on.
Anytime a fabric came off, Tyler was running. We then have Vince McMahon. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to add, it just gave it purpose. I mean, it really lended itself to what we desired and what we sure could have used and needed for that kind of encounter.
Well, some people might use and need Vince McMahon, Pat Patterson, and Gerald Briscoe. And they come out. And Vince says there's a conspiracy theory going around that I am trying to screw Stone Cold Steve Austin. And Vince says, the real reason I'm here is that in Pinehurst, North Carolina, my mom had the pleasure of giving birth to me. It's kind of nice to be back.
How sweet.
And then he says, am I going to screw Stone Cold Steve Austin out of the title? He says, that is beneath my dignity. I will not dignify that with a response. But he does say, I will not be held responsible for what happens in this very ring tonight if Stone Cold Steve Austin screws Stone Cold Steve Austin. So Vince McMahon giving us that same promo he did about Bret Hart, basically saying that, hey, if something happens to Stone Cold, it's on him, not my fault. And you kind of think, obviously, Vince is going to get involved in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, you wonder.
Yes. We then get Kelly Kelly. Oh my gosh. We get Kevin Kelly. Oh, wow. There we go. The evening gown
back in 1998.
Oh, she might have been like 5. Kevin Kelly is with Sable, and they're on the Superstars line to kind of promote money to get people to buy into it. We have our WWF tag team titles on the line. The champions, the New Age Outlaws, defending against LOD 2000 with Sonny. And Road Dogg comes down and he says, we would like to give you all a special treat. A personal friend of mine has come to coach us to victory. This is Dean Smith. And Billy Gunn brings out a sex blow-up doll.
How dare they? That's so rude and disrespectful, but that's typical D-Generation X.
No. So Hawk nails a power slam to the Road Dogg to start off. LOD with a double elbow. Animal nails a power slam to Billy Gunn, but the Road Dogg is able to break up the pinfall attempt. Billy Gunn sends Animal's knee into the ring post. The Age Outlaws start to have control over Animal, and Billy Gunn nails a Famouser and gets a 2. Hawk nails a flying splash to Road Dogg, but Billy Gunn hits Hawk with the title belt, and that gets a 2 count. Hawk nails a German suplex, and he thinks he gets the win. However, Howard Finkel announces the New Age Outlaws as the winners because Hawk's arms were down for the count of 3.
More controversy.
After that controversy and confusion, Hawk clotheslines the referee, and the Legion of Doom nail a Doomsday device on the referee. So New Age Outlaws and DX are able to escape again with the titles. What did you think of the match and Outlaws being able to steal this victory?
I thought it was, for what it was, made the finish a little different, which means interesting. I didn't think you needed to have LOD necessarily win the tag titles. It wasn't going to hurt anything with Sonny. However, I just think that, that the shoulders being down and the referee taking the Doomsday device, he deserved it. I think Sonny instructed them. They were mad because they should have won the gold, but it gave people more reasoning to want to watch more of this rivalry or see maybe what the next chapter is as far as their story, whether it was LOD 2000 or DX. But I'm going to go back to the McMahon point. I think McMahon could have ran for president. I don't know that he would have got much votes, but he was in his home state of North Carolina. And he just told Austin, like you reiterated about Bret, that Austin would only screw himself. The chairman would have nothing to do with it. Of course, he was dirty. We would find out later on. I kind of spoiled everything. Just call me Paul Heyman. Not really. But, yeah, I thought the tag team match was good, man. I think, to me, Road Dogg and Billy Gunn were more of the technical wrestlers. They were focused on the legs. A body part where Hawk and Animal just they're going to deliver clotheslines, do a doomsday device. They're all about the no nonsense, kind of in your face, intense offense.
Yes, sir. Yeah, there was a lot. It was a decent tag match. I didn't hate on it.
It was. Yeah, it wasn't bad.
This was something that happened that you might have enjoyed. Double J's concert with Sawyer.
Oh, I love this.
Yep, Tennessee Lee introduces the country band of the 90s, Sawyer Brown, who will be singing backup for Jeff Jarrett. Jarrett does the concert, he performs, and then he says, "Ain't I great? Tammy Wynette, that was for you. You're looking at the new king of country music." However, Steve Blackman comes out and attacks Jeff Jarrett from behind, and he applies a submission hold, but Tennessee Lee hits Steve Blackman with a guitar shot, and Jeff Jarrett applies the figure four on Steve Blackman. What did you think? Give me some quick thoughts on the concert. What did you think?
I thought it was Grammy Award-winning performance. Yeah. Sawyer Brown was a famous, popular country music, band, and I thought them and Jeff Jarrett did a marvelous job. I think Road Dogg actually sang the parts when he was the roadie, or even now with DX. I think him and Jeff have both been open about that. I like Blackman attacking Jeff Jarrett. Now, did this gimmick feel out of place? Sure it did, but I actually came away thinking, okay, there's going to be multiple awards throughout music entertainment due to this performance and mini concert here. The lethal weapon getting hit, though, by not Jarrett, but Tennessee Lee was I wasn't expecting. But for Jeff to apply the figure four, I don't need to go over the play-by-play. You do a marvelous job at that. I just want to say that it makes sense because we talked about music. Why didn't we mention this? I guess we were waiting for the Unforgiven review, so I get that. But, I mean, what was the title of the song? Because that was a big hit by Sawyer Brown.
I don't know.
Was it Some Girls Do or maybe Some Boys Do? Something
maybe.
Like
I really didn't know who Sawyer Brown was, so I was kind of
I'm not high class or low class. I'm trying to relay the lyrics. We don't have to speak on it too much, but out of respect, since we've done some of the music trivia, I thought it'd be kind of nice to
Sawyer Brown.
to do an homage. Yeah,
I know. My favorite country song though. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, this one's definitely my favorite country song. You know this one, right?
All right.
Let's see if we can.
No finger. Yeah. Oh yeah. Come on, play it some more. Baby, along with my baby tonight.
There you go.
Oh yeah. Of course, the Road Dogg does a great job. I know I butchered that, so forgive me to him. He's got a great voice. He really does. People do not know that the Road Dogg served in the military. He's a legit tough guy.
And
not saying wrestlers are not, but also the man can sing.
Can sing. Well, we are going
play that just one more time.
One more time, yeah. We'll play
it, and then we'll have to move
before
on.
We go. We'll play us out, and then we'll yeah.
That sounds great. Yeah.
Enjoy a little bit of Jeff Jarrett as we go to our last break of the show.
Spinning real slow. Oh, with my baby tonight.
All right, and that was it. Welcome back. I do wanted to say really quick where you could check us out at the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. We are available wherever you can stream podcasts. So you can check us out on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, wherever podcasts are available to stream. That is where you can check us out. We are also available on YouTube. Just search the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. Give us a like, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to stay notified when new content is created. Also, be sure to leave us a comment. What was your favorite moment from In Your House Unforgiven? What was your favorite April 1998 memory? Give us your thoughts. What did you enjoy about this episode? So, Tyler, I'm going to bring it back to you. We are now at our Inferno match. We have the Undertaker taking on his brother Kane with Paul Bearer. Let me give you some snapshots of some of the action. Undertaker is able to nail Old School, and flames flare up from the side of the ring. The Inferno Match is for people who haven't seen this. The ring is surrounded by fire, and the way to win is to burn your opponent. So,
very unique match.
Yes. Kane nails the Undertaker with a steel chair. We then see Kane choking Undertaker in the corner. However, Taker hits a Russian leg sweep and then a leg drop. Both men grab at one another's throat. However, Kane is able to land a choke slam. Undertaker is able to land a choke slam of his own. They nail a double big boot. Undertaker misses a flying clothesline, and Kane nails a sidewalk slam. Vader attacks Kane outside of the ring after Undertaker tosses him over the top rope, and Undertaker jumps over the ropes and the flames and lands on both men. Paul Bearer hits Undertaker with a steel chair from behind, and then Undertaker nails Kane in the back with the chair as well. Taker attacks Paul Bearer on the Jeff Jarrett stage, and then he slams a drum through Bearer's head, which is, great. Taker then, what a bastard. Taker then drives the mic stand into Paul Bearer's chest, and then Bearer is bleeding. Undertaker then big boots Kane's shoulder into the fire, and Kane is on fire again. So what did you think of Undertaker setting his brother on fire? Kind of anticlimactic. I thought there was going to be a lot more to it. Spectacle to see, but what did you think of the match?
I thought it was very wrong of the Undertaker to be this mad. I mean, all that the Big Red Machine Kane, his brother, and Paul Bearer did was desecrate the graves of the parents. So, I mean, what does this merit? And poor Paul Bearer, that they ruined Sawyer Brown's drum set and then the mic stand, and he even bleeds. I mean, he really is going after it for this whole angle. So it's a credit to Mr. Bearer, but seriously, I thought the match was, like you said, a spectacle. Yeah. I love the Old School spot. That to me, every time I saw Taker do that, it was just magical. Observing Undertaker walking those ropes and driving that arm to his opposition, and then with or without special effects, but the Flames did add a special element to it. And then Kane, that power slam, I mean, just kind of repeating some of your great notes there. I think the steel chair shots were always brutal during this time period, and I tell you what, an interesting concept, but it did make sense due to the whole story of Kane being burned up by the fire, having to wear the mask. It kept him mysterious. I believe you'll have a debate whether they like the unmasked Kane or the Kane with the mask, however. And I thought and felt that my impressions were this is what we were building up to for the big match at Unforgiven after WrestleMania, where Kane dominated. The announcers said that and spoke about it. And this delivered, though. It was not, it was anticlimactic. I get your observation there. It wasn't going to be the greatest kind of match they could have, but you had two big guys that could work. I mean, they flowed together. They had the chemistry. So for what it was, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was decent. And these guys will fight more and more, but again,
they will. This is not over.
No.
Trust me, it's going to go on.
But it was a sight to see, and it was a good first to have. And I'm sure the Flames were very hot for those in attendance.
Oh, it had to be. I mean, the announcers, Paul Bearer, and probably the fans were all sweating. I mean, that was very legit.
Yes, I wanted to die, and I wasn't even there. All right.
I know. I wanted it over with just because I was afraid the Flames were coming through the TV.
And as a little kid, though, I will say, as a kid growing up in this time and finding out, ooh, someone's going to be set on fire, I'm like, yes, excited to watch. So I was a little let down when you see, as an adult, you see, he has the sort of sleeve on, and
Yeah, but, you're kind of let down because, to your observation there, we miss this as kids because we're bought into it.
Yeah.
When we're adults, we kind of see through it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we buy into this. The WWF Championship is on the line. The champion Stone Cold Steve Austin defending against Dude Love. Here are some notes on this match. Stone Cold is able to nail a Dez press and then nail some right hands. He sends Dude Love into the railing, he being Stone Cold. Dude Love walks the ramp, but Austin clotheslines him down. Austin then hip tosses Doolove off the band stage onto the concrete floor, and Mick Foley just taking bump after bump. Stone Cold drops Doolove over the guard railing, and then Love takes control, sending Austin to the ring post, and then he nails a clothesline. Stone Cold clotheslines Doolove again, and then sends Love's leg into the post 3 times. Vince McMahon then comes down. He yells at Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then Doolove attacks Austin from behind. He being Doolove, sends Austin to the steps. However, Stone Cold Steve Austin is able to reverse it and suplex Doolove onto the steps himself. They fight in the crowd. A lot of action in this match.
Tons.
Back and forth. Doolove nails a swinging neck breaker, and the referee is knocked out. Doolove applies the mandible claw, and Vince McMahon tries to wake up the referee. However, Austin's able to backdrop Love over the top rope, and Stone Cold and Vince McMahon fight over the steel chair. Austin's able to grab a chair, and he goes to hit Doolove with it, but he accidentally nails Vince McMahon. Austin then nails a stunner on Doolove and counts the 3 fall. After the match, Vince is stretchered out, and Doolove is announced the winner by disqualification. Chaos. I mean, Vince McMahon was saying, you can't blame me for what happens. The conspiracy is going to happen, and the conspiracy's on him. Was Austin really trying to hit?
Yeah, was it accidental? Come on, that didn't look accidental to me. To Jerry the King Lawler's point, and JR even did a great job there of actually playing the middleman. He was very fair, saying that there will be repercussions. Excuse me there, but I'm with you. There was so much action. Outside the ring, into the crowd, they fought. What Austin and Foley with the Doolove character brought to the table. And this is the way you settle a score. But I think, did this continue, though? I think Doolove and Austin would continue this feud afterwards. You can probably help me out there. But I thought Austin dominated where he needed to in certain spots, and then Foley was able to come back, take advantage of tactical errors on the part of Stone Cold, but it was just vintage Texas Rattlesnake and Doolove, the 3 faces of Foley. We've mentioned it, and I thought it was a great title match. It would have been a great match even without a championship, and I love the ending where you had the suspense like you would in a great film, that McMahon had to be stretchered out. The announcers, once again, were being the soundtrack and composing the story together with how it was written out and formatted. So McMahon did a stellar job. He deserved a Academy Award for his acting performance here, and I'm sure the steel chair shot did hurt, because those were hard to kind of protect yourself from.
Yeah, I feel you. I think there was this rivalry was just so much to look forward to.
It was so good.
The main events were always good, like Vince McMahon delivering. You're left wondering all the time what's going to happen next, and that's where I'm left wondering.
It's the
after
suspense.
This great pay-per-view. But Tyler, my question for you, I have a quick question. What score would you give this pay-per-view? A being the best, F being the worst, and what was your favorite match on the card?
If we're doing it, I'd probably give it between a C or B.
Okay.
I don't know that I would give it an A. It had a lot of great stuff, but to give it an A would, I think, being a little too much. But I do think B or C. And what was the other part of it?
And what was your favorite match of the night?
Well, my favorite match was Sable and Luna. No, being honest, I was getting there. I digress. I was being funny. I really liked the Rock and Roll Express match with the New Midnight, the nostalgic factor. But it's probably between Owen Hart, Triple H, and then the main event, Stone Cold Doolove. Even though I liked Undertaker Kane for what it was, as far as match quality, taking nothing away from the 2 big guys. I liked what Owen and Triple H had laid out, and then Stone Cold and Doolove, and for my own fantasies, what Sable had on.
Ooh, well,
Ooh la la.
That was a decent
rise
match.
at the top.
I'm not going to say I didn't enjoy that match. It was a good match.
Yeah, come on. Be honest.
I think for me, though, my favorite was the main event. And it
was a great match.
They compare this main event to next month's pay-per-view, which we won't give into spoilers. Over the Edge in Your House will be coming. That will be the May pay-per-view coming out soon. But Tyler, thank you for joining me. I
am so happy to have joined you. And hey, the more and more we're changing the game here. People are noticing. They are subscribing. They are following, and they want to know more about what kind of antics we're going to come up with, not just DX, but
Yeah.
and what are we going to plan for the next episode?
There's
We've
a
got
whole-
trivia now. We've got movies, thanks to you. I mean, I've had my coffee. Please stop me.
We're we're gonna have Raw's War Plan for our next episode, and that episode is coming.
Nice.
That will be dropping next. Let me look at my calendar quick. That will be dropping on Monday, August. What is that date? The 15th.
You'll
Yes.
have to help me out because I'm thinking it's Thursday and it's Wednesday.
Yes.
But
No, we will be.
seriously, our days gets mixed up. But go ahead.
It will be. No, you're fine. It will be dropped on Monday, August 15th. Yes.
Sounds like a plan. I mean, speaking of strategies and getting this wonderful content out. But I believe, don't forget, when we end the show, we've got a special treat that we've been teasing throughout the show. You've actually, listeners, have heard it. So, but I know we're not quite finished yet.
Yes, we're almost there. Tyler is excited for this.
It's talking about climatic. I am pumped.
He is pumped, man. He's very excited.
I can't
So,
contain myself.
The next time you'll hear us will be our Raw's War recap, and that will be from April 27th, the night after Unforgiven in your house. And the DX Army decides to invade WCW. That's a little spoiler for those.
I remember. Yeah, that's a good spoiler. I do. Vividly, that comes to mind. Yeah. Yeah,
So-
the Monday Night Wars.
The Monday Night Wars. So as let me just try to get to where we need to be. So okay, to end the show for Tyler, for all of you guys.
Yeah,
This
please.
is Jeff Jarrett one more time singing With My Baby Tonight.
It's the greatest hit. I mean, it's one of my favorites.
Yes, we are gonna leave you with it. Be safe and come back on Monday for our Attitude Years recap. Stay
please
with
come
us,
back.
y'all. Please enjoy.
Ain't working hard on the go. Put the hands on the clock, keep spinning too slow. 'Cause I
I
can't
can't
wait to be alone
with my baby tonight.
with my baby.